Madam Clerk?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Sims.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. There are no proclamations, but we do have a presentation from the Main Street Alliance by Mr. Jerry Lombardo. If you'd like to come up, please. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor LaBrus, Deputy Mayor Canestrino, and council members, City Manager Trost. I'm Jerry Lombardo, Chairman of the Upper Main Alliance in Hackensack. A few months ago, and I'm going to read most of this statement because I want to make sure I don't miss any of it. A few months ago, the Upper Main Alliance attended several council meetings where the Atlantic Street Park open space venue was being vetted and discussed. We felt strongly at the time that this park would become an integral part of the new downtown, and we feel even more so today after discussing many of the venues that are going to be happening at the new park. It's going to be fantastic. And we're happy and proud that the City Council had the foresight and the courage to move the park project forward. Among the objections that were raised, some in the public felt that the development community should contribute in some way to the expenses that this and other unbudgeted amenities will bear upon the city as the downtown progresses. The Alliance heard those comments from the community and we took them to heart. We heard those comments from the community, we took them to heart. In response, we formed the Downtown Assistance Fund to gather resources from the public, from developers, and any interested parties to help defray some of the costs of these projects. As a 501c3, we are a nonprofit organization, the Upper Main Alliance. All funds raised by the Main Street Alliance will be turned over to the city and earmarked for certain projects as we move forward. You know, there is great power in the word support. Redeveloping a downtown is not a job for the weak of heart. Many of the things we are suggesting will cause change, and change is never easy. But when you feel support, it gives you courage to keep going. And that is exactly what the business community has felt from you, Mayor LaBrus, and from Deputy Mayor Canestrino, and the entire City Council that support has helped carry us forward. We also felt support from the community at large and all those who have attended our many public meetings. The community has been tremendously supportive every step of the way. We have also received support from outsiders, including New Jersey Transit, New Jersey Institute of Technology, Downtown New Jersey, to mention a few. And we've even won support by way of a New Jersey Smart Growth Award that the Plan for the Downtown has won last summer. Now we want to return some of that support back to you and the people of the city of Hackensack. So we've turned to two very well-respected individuals to help begin our cause to raise funds. Alfred Sanzari Enterprises, although not currently developing in the downtown, is a major stakeholder and benefactor in our community. David Sanzari has been a solid supporter of all that we do in the downtown from day one. His solid support of our efforts cannot be understated. I am proud to announce tonight that Alfred Sanzari Enterprises and affiliated companies has the distinction of making the initial charitable donation to our downtown fund in the amount of $15,000, which will be turned over this evening to the city of Hackensack. Mr. Sanzari has also promised me to continue to support the downtown efforts in any way that he can as we move forward. And that support empowers us all, and we thank him wholeheartedly tonight for that. Next, we turn to the man who had enough faith and belief in our plan that he became the first developer, residential developer, out of the ground. Meridia Metro project on State Street has the distinction of being the first major residential project in the new downtown. The property will provide state-of-the-art living in an up-tempo, hip environment specifically designed for downtown living. George Capadagli is an innovator, a visionary, and a self-made, hard-driven man. I've had the opportunity to meet with him a number of times. In fact, he took me on a tour of the building on State Street a few weeks ago, and I was really impressed. I think the community at large is going to be so happy with the product that you're going to get down on State Street, a first-class residential building that will really set the tone for what we're trying to do in the downtown. He and the Meridia brand that he will bring to our downtown will be something the city can be proud of. The Upper Main Alliance approached Meridia for support, and George Capadagli and his company did not let us down. Tonight, we shall turn over a check in the amount of $25,000, a charitable donation that he made to the Upper Main Alliance towards improvements in the Atlantic Street Park. In conclusion, I'd like to thank both organizations for their support. I also want to reach out to any other company or individual who may want to make a charitable donation, no matter how large or small, to the downtown. The Upper Main Alliance stands ready to work with all persons or groups for the advancement of the downtown. And now, Mayor, we'd like to present you with the check. If you could come down, maybe take a picture in front of the check that we got from the city.
We get the council in there, too?
Yep. We'd like
Why don't you come up here, have him come up here?
We can bring it up there.
Yeah.
Does one come down here?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sorry.
We can hold it.
What do you need, glasses?
I know. We hope this is the, we hope this is the first of a few more checks that we're able to raise for the downtown.
Can you squeeze in more?
You want to give it? Yeah.
We need you to squeeze in more, sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
so much.
And we hope this is the first of a few more
Thank you,
that
yes.
we can do for
That's
these
awesome.
budget amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. George, thank you. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Absolutely. So we'll see David also.
Yep.
All right?
Can I take a
Thank
picture?
We need him for these. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Mayor, thank you.
Before we move forward, any comments from the council on that?
I want to thank David Sansari and Mr. Capodiglia for the donation for the improvement of the city. Thank you.
Kath?
Also, thanks to the Alliance for coordinating this, and of course to Mr. Sanzari and Mr. Capadaglia. City is greatly appreciative of that support, and, you know, as you said, Jerry, very, very well spoken. You know, it's financial support, but it's also other support that we've received, and it's always good to hear those kinds of words. So thanks again for coming tonight and speaking on that.
Thank you. Dave?
Jerry, once again, I want to thank the Alliance for contributing to the Atlantic Street Park. Thank you.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I want to thank the Alliance, especially Jerry, everybody involved, Mr. Capadagli and David Sanzari. It's great that they're coming forward doing this because they don't have to. They don't have to, but Jerry showed that we stuck behind this park. We know why it's needed, how important it was, and the fact that we did that is paying dividends. the people that are building these buildings and plan on doing stuff in this city see that, and it's very important because they're coming forward to help us. They know how important this part of the city is. So I want to thank everybody involved for this. It's really appreciated. And obviously, it's going to be put to good use. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, there are no minutes to approve tonight, so we'll have a city manager's report.
First item is NJDOT funding received of $164,361, as well as the submittal of a Main Street Quality of Life project, streetscape project, Main Street from Anderson to Ward that we're hoping to get funding for. Third item is the Police Academy for the youth is going on this week, and so far it's been a success. And the next item is the budget presentation. I'm going to give a summary, and then Jim will be available for any questions the council or later on during the public portion to answer. First of all, the introduction of the budget occurred several weeks ago, which we gave a very detailed presentation on that. The results of a lot of hard work from the department heads and other staff members, and particularly Mr. Mangan, as well as the Finance Committee of 2 council members. The result of the introduction budget, which is now held for the public hearing, is a 3.99% municipal tax increase, which equates to an average increase for the assessed home within the city, which is $239,263, or an increase of $155.99. The increase dollar-wise is approximately $2.9 million. So let me go over a few facts so that you understand how tight this budget is. The debt service payment for the tax appeals alone is approximately $1.5 million. That's an increase of $1.2 million this year from the amount borrowed in 2014, which has a 7-year payout. There was also a balloon payment due based on the tax appeal bonding that occurred in 2010. And what I mean by balloon is they paid the minimal amount in 2010, and as you go through the payout of that loan, it increases. So that accounts for a little over $200,000 that was part of the increase. Now, tax appeals. In general, please understand that we are refunding the taxpayers that appealed their taxes. In other words, the valuation was determined by the courts that they pay too much. Now, every year, the city collects the dollars from all taxes, including the county tax, the library, and the school. They submit their budgets based on their budgets, and we pay them out, in fact, first. So we're paying these tax appeals back, which actually includes the funding that was previously provided to those 3 other agencies. So the city is refunding that money as a single entity. That's important to note. That's why it impacts our budget and it doesn't impact the other 3 entities. Pension and security, or Social Security payments, increased 5.1%, approximately $420,000. That is an expense that's not controlled by the city. Insurance increases, which includes all types of insurance, went up $868,250, or a 5% increase. The library understanding some of the controversy from last year, from 2014 to 2015 budget, it has been increased by 1.9% from what was allocated last year. Salaries on wages on an average is up 1.9%. So when you add up debt service, insurance, pension and Social Security alone, you're at about almost 2.8 million. So really, in essence, our costs went up $100,000. I submit to you that I think that's a very frugal budget. We are trying to control costs as best we can under the law and state regulations by the local finance board, and as well as adhere to our responsibilities to pay down our debt as far as the tax appeals go. I would open, this portion of my manager's report to Jim Mangan, our CFO, if he would like to add anything that I've already said.
Yeah, just wanted to remind you, kind of like tailgating off the presentation that we did last month, that the budget's kind of a continuation of the process that we started last year. That we started last year, where we said that the long-term goal was stabilization. Okay, that started last year with restructuring the budget. We had to get away from a budget that was based in surplus. Okay, that was what drove your tax increases, decreases, those fluctuations. So last year was a restructuring of the budget. This year, okay, we took a different approach because we were attempting to write the tax structure. Okay, that's what we've been doing with the tax appeals. We're going out for a citywide reassessment. We closed on our RFPs last Thursday. We had hoped to have a resolution on for tonight, but we haven't. We're still going through the proposal that will be on for the April 20th meeting. Okay. So what we did in this budget was not just look to the development community. Okay, that is who we're trying to serve in the long term, but we also tried to look at what the homeowners are faced with right now. Mayor, you indicated last meeting at the budget introduction that what I've been saying for a year, that the council took on the tax appeal issue head on. And that's really to your credit. It would have been very easy to just kick the can down the road. Likewise, when Dave and I started working on this budget, we could have stopped at the 6.5% increase, and we could have said that, well, the rest of it is because of tax appeals and development. But we know that we've got a responsibility to the homeowners as well. That's why the budget that we did really, truly is the best possible budget that we could come up with to serve a whole variety of different entities within the city.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. No, I agree. And, thank you for those words. Sorry.
That ends my report, Mr. Mayor.
All right. I want to thank both of you. I think your description and evaluation of the budget was good. The presentation last month was excellent, and kind of strange. I never heard anybody clap at a budget before, but that was pretty impressive. But I think you did a good job. To the public, this was a tough year. And it's going to stay tough for a few years to come. Our goal is, we know we had to tighten the belt. We know our goal was to rehabilitate Main Street, bring in some ratables. And until that's all done, it's going to be some tough going. We still have more tax appeals coming up. Not sure exactly how much right now, but it's a considerable amount, probably another 2 years, probably 2 years of it.
We're hoping to possibly do it all in one.
That would be great.
That would be great.
These are usually 5-7 year bonds, so the debt service is going to be there for a while. But it's the right thing to do for the city, and there's no doubt it's the right thing to do. So I want to thank you two gentlemen again, and let's move on. Thank you. Anybody else from the council want to speak on the budget?
No, you want to thank David and Jim, for the good job that you had doing with the budget.
Hey, no, we're good. Okay.
I think you just go into the hearing if you want. Unless you want
I didn't know
to,
if
you can go right into the actual hearing, or you can jump to the resolution. Since the budget has been discussed, you can jump your order if you want.
You want to just read the resolution or open to the public,
You
or?
need to open to the public first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so motion open to the public,
Offer.
Second.
roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on the budget and the budget only may now come forward. Thank you. Seeing none, motion to close to the public,
Offer.
Second.
roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Moving on to Resolution 130-15.
This is the final adoption of ordinance number 13-2015, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 32 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, New Jersey, entitled Police Department. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
Offer.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
You remind me.
Leo?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance, and this ordinance only, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, motion to close. Whoop. Sorry. He's got to sit up front.
I just have one, Richard Salk in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Yes.
Please explain a lot. You've eliminated the position of chief of police. Why?
I'll let the city manager explain. Thank you.
There are conflicts with having the term chief of police when you don't have one. And we have corrected that. We do have an officer in charge, which is Captain Lloyd. The police director assumes some of the functions of the police chief, but so does Captain Lloyd as officer in charge. And we are restructuring as what was promised by the previous administration as well as this administration, that we are going to get the police department on the right track. And this is another step in that process. The goal of this council is to eventually reestablish a police chief, which will happen when the city is comfortable with that.
Well, two questions, if I can follow up on, Mr. City Manager. The fact that you would have it in the ordinance doesn't mean you would have to fill it, correct? That's question one. Question two is you don't have a deputy chief, but you leave the deputy chief language in there. Why is that? If you've thought about that.
I actually asked that question, by the way.
What was the answer you got?
The answer was you can have a deputy chief without having a chief.
No, but you don't have a deputy chief right now.
I understand that. And then I don't know why it wasn't taken out, but I thought you could not have a deputy chief without a chief. That's why I questioned it. But
I question why you're even doing this, really. You don't have to fill the position. Yes, we have a civilian director, and that's set up by ordinance. You have an officer in charge who's...
in my opinion, the irony of it is we're eliminating the chief's position so that we can
Reestablish.
work towards recreating the chief.
But you wouldn't have to fill it in the interim, but, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Gelber. Because there's no black-lined or red-lined copy within the packet, City Manager, will you make the representation that that is the only change within that?
There are some changes as far as the clarifying what the role of the police director is. You look at Article 1, B2.
So all changes relative to that document have to do with police director and officer in charge?
You know, I don't have my red line copy either, so I really
Well,
can't.
I'm sure that this was more than...
I am not going to say that there may not be some other language that might have been modified.
Well, I'm sure that
Because
I'm sure this went through many drafts and there was much discussion on anything that did change.
I will not and shall not say that I know of no other changes other than what you asked me without going back and verifying that, which I cannot at this time.
Now, your work product is not subject to Oprah. Will you provide a redlined copy from what was in place to what is now in place?
I have no issue with turning that over. The resident could just as easily look on the website, find the old version, the new version. This would just simplify that process.
So you'll provide that to me tomorrow? Or within a reasonable time frame?
You could submit an Oprah request, and you know we answer Oprah requests.
At the D hour, but what I've said to you is a representation that you wouldn't have to provide that to me under Oprah, and now you're asking me to submit an Oprah request. So I will take your representation, Mr. Visconti, that you have no issue with providing that to me. You will provide that under
That's certainly a council decision. I'm saying legally, I don't think it raises any particular issues to do so, Mr. Mayor.
So we're going to circle around it and not answer the question. Okay, thank you.
I don't think we circled around the issue. You will get your copy. Just follow the procedure. It's very clear.
Excuse me, I said that it would not have been subject to Oprah, and will you provide it? You did not answer that question with an affirmative yes or no.
I think the attorney.
Are you now answering?
I think the attorney already answered that question.
He said that he would not have an issue with it, subject to the council's approval.
Well, then I look at the council.
I mean, I'm having
No more back and forth,
I don't know
please.
why you're giving the response in the manner in which you have done.
Well, I don't.
Is that an affirmative? Yes, you will provide me the document.
I'll refer it to the council, Mr. Gilbert.
Again, back to it. We're going to circle it back without an answer, and then I'm going to walk away, and you're going to, in a very rude manner, say,
I'm
"Oh,
rude.
we'll give it." Well, I think we answered.
Okay,
Mr. Galbert, no more back and
Are
forth.
you affirmatively
No
saying?
more back and forth,
yes?
please. Mr. Galbert, no more back and forth.
I have a question on the floor. Is there an affirmative yes or no?
I would like you to Oprah request it, Mr. Galbert, all right?
So that you can deny it. Thank you.
Next, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bart Haverty, 283 Berry Street. Just a couple of questions regarding this. What is the difference in salary between the director and a police chief? And which one is cheaper for the city? Number two, considering that, I guess one of the reasons we hired a police director was to kind of resolve some of the problems with the police department. It seems that we've kind of come back full circle, considering we have another lawsuit against the police department, and in particular, the police director. It would seem to me that having brought him on hasn't resolved the issues at the police department. Do we have some other plan to quickly remedy the situation, bring it on a police chief?
If I may, there is no quick remedy to bring on a police chief. You have a rank and file, you have to go through that rank and file, it has to be decided by the police director who is, and presented to this council, who is ready to be chief. As far as the salary, I believe,
Answer that. The police
the
director
150.
makes less than quite a few of the sworn officers right now.
so we're saving money there. Plus, he already has benefits.
May I ask another question?
Sure.
With regards to the director determining a police chief, this is still a civil service community, correct?
Correct.
There's an open position, but we're now abolishing it, correct?
For the time being, we've abolished the position and put an officer in charge. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Anybody else? Motion to close to the public?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
And now you need a motion to adopt.
Motion to
ordinance.
adopt this ordinance, please.
Offer.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 13-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Resolution 131-15.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 14-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation, Chapter 170, Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code to amend Section 53 entitled Schedule 4, Time Limit Parking.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 14-2015 as introduced does now pass on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on April 20th, 2015, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council. And at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Resolution 132-15.
Is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 15-2015, an ordinance amending attachment 107B entitled Enumeration of Permits to Chapter 107 entitled Licenses and Permits of Part 2 entitled General Legislation of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance number 15-2015 is introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on April 20th, 2015, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council. And at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a note of its introduction and passage on first reading and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 133-15.
This is a resolution for the adoption of the 2015 municipal budget.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Stay.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 134-15.
Is a resolution authorizing the refund for the Hackensack Health Department for a birth certificate copy.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 135-15.
This is a resolution authorizing a refund for the Hackensack Junior Track registration.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 136-15.
Is a resolution supporting the 2015 You Drive, You Text, You Pay distracted driving crackdown from April 1st through the 21st, 2015.
Have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 137-15.
Is a resolution supporting National Youth HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which is April 10th, 2015.
Have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 138-15.
Is a resolution authorizing tax refunds.
Have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 139-15.
Is a resolution authorizing the award of contract for lawn care services to Pat Scallion Landscaping, Inc.
May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 140-15.
The resolution authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 141-15.
Is a resolution appointing public defenders and a conflict public defenders.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 142-15.
Is a resolution authorizing membership in the Community Resource Council.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 143-15.
Is a resolution authorizing execution of a settlement agreement.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 144-15, payment of bills.
This is the resolution authorizing the payment of bills. The current fund is $8,503,471.96. Grants is $1,149.60. Payroll is $1,532,112.04. Public parking, $6,473.70. Capital, $480,252.95. Escrow, $26,039.93. Trust account, $75,097.64. Total expenditures, $10,624,597.82. Interfunds and transfers, $272,386.64. We need a motion.
Motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. I'm going to call for a 2-minute recess before we go into public. If you don't mind. Take your break. We're back in session.
No comment?
Would you open it up to the public?
Motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Never.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak, please come up to the podium. You have 5 minutes. Hello, sir, how are you?
How are you? Victor
Good.
Sasson, Euclid Avenue. In reference to I read about the bond ordinance to pave Prospect Avenue and other streets. Again, I don't see Euclid Avenue between Prospect and Summit. My neighbors say that street hasn't been paved in 30 years. I've only lived there about 8 years, but I also was wondering, we had talked about Hackensack University Medical Center doing something in that regard, considering that they have $130 million in tax-exempt property in the city and returning something in lieu of taxes. And you said there were talks with the hospital. How did they come?
Well, last meeting, there was actually a resolution passed, or an agreement passed between the hospital and the city. Would you like to elaborate on it? I'll let you elaborate on it.
All the tax appeals and the issues regarding the hospital have been resolved. They, for mutual benefit for both the city and the hospital. Moving forward, we are aligned in how to try to restructure the city and get redevelopment in the right place in the right time. And over the course of the next 3 years, they will be contributing $5.1 million to the city. Some of that will be used for paying down some of our debt service, as well as doing some progressive projects that the city is in the process of planning to benefit all the citizens of Hackensack.
Could you be more specific on those, or?
That would be a policy that the council is working through now.
And then the $5.1 million in over the 3-year period, going forward after that, would there be more money forthcoming? Or would that have to be negotiated separately?
As contributions from the hospital, if there's no tax appeals, there's no negotiating. However, as part of the agreement, obviously, if any use changes occur in any of the hospital structures or buildings, then the tax assessor does have the right to reopen that. as required by, or as permitted by law. If they build a new building, depending on how that is structured, they will also possibly be paying taxes. It's a matter of law that not-for-profit hospitals are tax exempt. So we've worked out an agreement that is both beneficial to the city and to in Hackensack. We had that also means potentially losses to the city of about, other than the revenue, we had potential losses of almost $4 million that our attorneys and our assessor said that our opportunity to win were very slim. So when you look at the amounts, I think the city made out really well.
And these appeals are referred to what, the taxing of the parking garage, daycare center, and other?
They are paying for they do pay tax on the
Right,
parking
parking
garage.
garage.
Yes.
What were the appeals for then?
There's, I don't have all those.
Some other hospital property.
There's
Child
yes.
daycare, parking garage, and I think 20 Prospect.
That the city taxed and they appealed that, and as a result, this agreement was made.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Leo.
Next, please.
Including the $200,000.
Hi, everybody. My name is Muhammad Amjad, and I'm from 36 Vreeland Avenue, on the building, and I'm plus the president of the mosque. We've been there for past 19 years. We never had a problem for the parking. Last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I think, there is a cops coming in, and they are giving us a ticket. First, they give us few tickets. Then they came in. The cops come in every Friday because that's our prayer day, from 1 to 2 o'clock. Cops comes in, he park his car, and chase away the people because this is our prayer time, you know. And I just want to know, we've been there for 19 years. We have no complaint. I don't think so. Nobody ever told us anything. And all of a sudden, this thing happened. We want to know why is happening to us. Because it's 19 years we've been there.
Mohammed, after this, the council meeting, if you wanna meet with Captain Boyd, and we'll talk about that.
Okay, I left few messages with Captain. And,
Yeah.
you know,
We'll
okay,
talk
no
to you
problem.
after the
No
meeting.
problem. Thank you. I appreciate it. We just want 1 to 2 o'clock, just give us regard. Plus, we have a Ramadan coming next month, not next month, it's June, and we need the parking at night, you know, for like, you know, from.
Gonna work with you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hi, good evening. Linda
Good evening.
Flynn, 482 Summit Avenue. I'm the president of the board of the library trustees, and I'm here on behalf of the board. My mission tonight is to inform everyone of the latest developments concerning the 2015 budget and the appropriation offered by the city for the library expenses. Our proposed request was originally $2,940,158. To be clear, our total costs for the year to run the library is $3,026,332, and the city has agreed to appropriate $2,770,832. This amount still puts us in a $255,500 operating deficit and greatly reduces the possibility of having any carryover funds at the end of the year to restore our reserves. This means that we'll have to dig in even deeper into our reserves to pay and try to keep the maintenance that we have of our current level of programs and services. This will put us in the same situation we found ourselves in last year, and we're concerned. And that's why we had asked our patrons to come out and support us. While the board appreciates that there has been a slight increase in this year's appropriations by the city, it doesn't really make up for the last year's cuts and doesn't cover our fixed costs which continued to grow and currently are $2,965,332. That nearly $3 million covers the fixed costs and doesn't include any non-fixed discretionary spending that we use to maintain the quality of our services, the programs, and the building. Regardless of the continuing budgetary issues the library faces, the board wanted me to express our thanks for the additional $50,000 that the council did add to our appropriations for this year. And it would also be wise to note that the $97,000 refund that we were awarded for the overpayment toward our medical insurance from last year has helped reduce the burden on the library's finances. I can report that this year we'll have a cut in payroll due to retirements, but at this time we still don't know what our fixed medical costs will be. In closing, the library board is grateful for the financial support from the city council, but we still have our concerns. We want it to be known that this pattern of continued budgetary cuts will have a crippling force sure to affect the future of our library services and programs for the students and the residents of the city of Hackensack. We just want to assure our dedicated patrons that we are carefully monitoring the financial situation as it continues to unfold and will keep them appraised of future developments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Appreciate it.
Mayor, could I just say one thing?
Yes.
You may not be aware of the $97,000 refund. The council may not be aware of that. Last year, when we put the budget together, we had said that one of the goals of the budget was accuracy. Every year, the city charges the library for its health benefits, and every year the city had charged the same amount year after year, $487,300 every year. What we did last year was we calculated their actual health benefits based on our premiums. And it turned out that the amount wasn't $487,000, it was about $450,000. So it was about a $30,000 reduction from what the library had thought that the number would be and what we thought it would be.
Right.
So what we did was, because we saw this reduction, and because we said we wanted the budget to be accurate, we took it a step further and we recalculated the 2013 amount. Okay, that resulted in the $97,000 reduction that's being referred to. So what we did was, again, to be fair and to be accurate, we applied that refund to last year's budget as well. Okay? That was never explained to you guys at a public meeting, and I just, you may be wondering what it is, and I just want to give you some background on that. Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Richard Serbo. I'm in 46 Spring Valley Avenue, Hackensack. I just want to start by mentioning John Keats, the great English poet who said that we're great in the West because of living with uncertainty. And there's so much uncertainty here. So I encourage you to read some Keats and maybe be encouraged to go forward with lots of uncertainty, okay? I wanted to ask about, I know Mr. Mayor said they haven't been given out yet, but the tax breaks given out, or that will be given out to development projects, I want to know why the entire city cannot share in that. And if they haven't been given out yet, I'm sure you have an idea of the size of what they will be. And I'm sure it's a large, large figure from what I'm reading and what I've talked to Hugh Morley about after his in-depth article. And so if you have any idea what they are and why they have to be, and homeowners' taxes are still going up and up. And so everyone's involved here, okay? And I'm not speaking here personally for myself.
No, I understand.
I speak
I'll definitely
for
address it during my comments.
I speak
Absolutely.
for the people of Hackensack, and you're supposed to be speaking for the people of Hackensack.
And we are.
So, okay. Also, I just wanted to ask, did you check on what I asked you about the police and fire department, that they are the highest paid departments in the country. Have you checked that?
I know, I haven't checked to see if they are the
Okay.
highest, but I can almost assure you they're not, because I know the North Hudson Regional Fire Department is a higher paid fire department than ours.
Okay.
That I knew already, so.
I tell you,
At least I haven't checked, but.
We're close to winning the pennant in both departments in pay, okay? And that's it. I wanted to end and mention another great writer, an American writer, Saul Bellow, who who mentioned that when you're faced with a challenge in life and you need to think creatively, okay, most people fall back on their credentials and their coteries. Please don't do that and give us status quo, okay? Give us some creative thinking. Don't fall back on credentials, coteries. Please move us forward. Thank you very much.
Next, please.
Richard Salkin, Hackensack, New Jersey. I really wasn't going to speak on your agreement with the medical center, but I really disagree that it's a good deal for the city. I'll address it at a future meeting. But for starters, where you were collecting taxes or a tax-based evaluation of the air rights in excess of $400,000, now flat rated for $200,000. And my question, and I'll leave it to Mr. Visconti, although it is not your fault, but maybe he should research how with a resolution you overturned a duly enacted ordinance which created the air rights lease, John, which you were there for because you abstained on it, appropriately so. So I don't know where you're going with this or what you've done, but I don't think it's a good thing, and I'll address it in detail at the next meeting. But that's not why I'm here tonight. And I can't believe I'm back here, and we have to speak again about Maria Elena Battaglia. You recall we spoke about this often during 2014. There was a position created. It was assigned to Mrs. Battaglia, spouse of Councilman Battaglia. She did not qualify for the position. The council decided we were not pursuing the second deputy administrator of the municipal court, abolished the position. Remember, John, I got up here in May, was the $10,000 raise rescinded? Your answer, I don't know. But from that point forward, things took place. And eventually, I assumed, and I'm going to ask you, that you do believe that that raise should have been rescinded, correct, Mr. Mayor?
At that time, yes. So I don't think the whole thing was rescinded. I think.
Well, it was rescinded in part. I'll go through that. And
She had to stay within the salary range.
within the salary range, and that was Mr. Coster's analysis, and he said, but I brought her up to where I thought she should be. And she was the only one in that department who got that raise. So at the $10,000 raise, she gets $58,559. Now, there's another lady in there, Camille DeGennaro, who's got similar seniority, the exact same title, and I can assure you, since I work with both of them, is at least as good and a dedicated worker. She's making $13,000 less. $13,000 less. Is that fair, Mr. Mayor? What do you think?
I'd have to look at all the circumstances and what they do, Rick.
Now-
I'd have to look exactly what they do.
The city manager's taken ownership of this. I'd like to know, Mr. City Manager, how this came to your desk, the situation with Maria Battaglia.
Mr. Salkin, you know what form of government we have here?
I think I know it better than you, Mr. Rose, but go ahead.
Well, I'm asking you a question.
Well, I'm here to ask you a question, sir. That's, you want to banter, we can banter, but then turn the clock off.
It's called the City Council and Manager form of government under the 1923 Act.
Yes.
And as you know,
Yeah.
the power to promote, the power to fire, the power to hire, and the power to give salary increases within the ordinance lies with the city manager.
So you did do this. All that was to tell me that I know that because I opened your memo.
That's correct.
What's interesting is did any member of the council approach you before you, Mr.
No.
Nobody spoke to you about this. You did this on your own.
I did this on my own based on you so eloquently put that the salary ordinance was out of whack.
I never discussed the salary ordinance.
Oh, sure you did.
Oh, no, I didn't. That's Mr. Coster's
Okay.
way of trying to fix
You
mistake.
do-
Now
you-
we're back to
you-
a $10,000 raise for a position that didn't exist. Are you gonna give $10,000 to the other hardworking ladies in that department, Mr. City Manager?
You gonna review those salaries, Mr. City Manager?
Absolutely, Mr. Sullivan.
When hell freezes over, Mr. Trost. You know what? Did you come here to be city manager, or did you come here to be Leo Battaglia's locked dog?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. And what's funny is, you gave the message, raise it retroactively to 2014 on March 10th. Your CFO does his justifying memo March 16th, after the decision was already made. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and I'll tell you this. If this is not rescinded by the next meeting, I start shopping for a law enforcement agency, because I think this is misconduct in office. And I don't believe for a minute that you weren't approached by a member of council. This just came out of the blue, Mr. Trost. Your credibility ought to be important to you.
Next, please.
Good evening, Kathleen Salvo, 184 Hudson Street. I want to commend the council on the budget. We had a lot of problems. You inherited a lot of problems. We had a lot of debts to pay off with all these tax appeals. And that's why I can't understand why a member of the library board came to complain about her budget again. Do you live in Hackensack? I didn't complain. Well, I know, but...
All right, no back and forth.
Okay. I'm just saying that the library should be thankful. We have to all tighten our belts, and I wasn't here the month that they got members to come here and talk about the library like they were being treated badly. I mean, you're giving them what they're supposed to get. I love the library. I go there and I take programs and everything is great. But in a time when we're all tightening our belts for everything, why do they assume that they're supposed to be getting all this money? All you have to do is give them what you're supposed to give them based on, what is that formula? You have to give them X amount of...
It's based on our ratables.
And we gave them over and above, so they should be thankful. And like you said, all the money we have to pay back, we're not asking back from the Board of Ed, we're not asking back from the library. The taxpayers have the burden of giving it back. So I think the library should be thankful as to what they get. They should, tighten the belts, maybe take some programs out, but to come here and just and organize that whole thing when I wasn't here that month, I think that was an embarrassment to the city and to the people who use the library. Because I use the library, I would have never have come in and done that to the city of Hackensack. Thank you.
Next, please.
Good evening again, Bart Haverty, 283 Berry Street. I recently found I have an abundance of time on my hand, and I've been spending a lot of it walking around town and down at Forshini Park. And over the last couple of days, I've seen city workers preparing the field for, I guess, baseball season to start, which is a great thing. I love baseball. And as I walk with my wife, walking the dog along the pathway, I see a beautiful park and a beautiful river and a tremendous amount of garbage. It's just garbage everywhere in the bushes and the trees. And I guess that's part of our nature area. Wild animals. I've seen bald eagles in the park. Amazing. And I'm concerned that we have people coming to the park, beautiful park, and we see nothing but garbage. We have wildlife, and I'm concerned about their welfare with the amount of garbage that's in the river, plastic bags, and so forth. Excuse me. Additionally, just walking around town in front of my house, since the snow is gone, I haven't seen a street cleaner since the snow is gone. And I see that quite a bit around the city. So while we're trying to redevelop our downtown area and lure business and investors into the city, which is great, I think we're going to kind of deter people by the amount of garbage in the city. So I know that was something that we campaigned on. If we could just look into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Trost, could you please see that the Parks Department does a sweep of that area?
Yes, and just to encourage the resident at the Cal meeting, it was announced that the Riverkeeper will be doing a cleanup, a volunteer cleanup, and I hope you participate in that.
Thank you. Next, please.
Steve Gelwer, 304 Clinton Place. Just a clarification of something that was said earlier during the budget presentation. It was a 1.9% increase to salaries across the entire budget?
That's an average.
Yeah, I understand. 1.9%. Is it fair to say that the Hackensack Police Department represents probably about 20% of our workforce here in Hackensack. Is that a fair representation?
Don't ask me to do math in my head. Honestly, I really.
About how many employees do we have in the city of Hackensack?
About 480, I think.
So it's even higher. It's closer to 25%.
It's over 20%, I'd say.
Mathematically, a
Fair.
22% increase that we blabbed about probably skew 1.9%. You got 25% of your workforce getting a 22% annual increase. Funny math there.
Yes, it was.
But 1.9% average increase. I wonder if Maria Helena Battaglia, 21% increase, how does that factor in there? Is her work just that much above and beyond anyone else of our nearly 500 employees? I think that's something that we really need to look at. A comment was made earlier regarding our police and fire salaries. I don't know if anyone else, since Hackensack was accredited with a Class 1 department for the fire department, I don't know if anyone else in the state of New Jersey, at that time it was only Hackensack and another department, Hoboken. I don't know if anyone else has received that designation since. Hackensack Fire Department deserves every dollar that they make. Something, I don't know if you want to call it an urban legend, something that someone wants to allege, council people want to allege, is that one of Mr. Trost's predecessors was driven out of town over the PBA negotiations. That was the driving factor that got him out of here. I think it's a lot more than that, and one of the things that it could have been was rudeness and arrogance to residents, which is something that unfortunately is being displayed again tonight by his successor. I had hope. Fourth time maybe is the charm. One a year. Maybe we had the new one, but we've got negotiations coming up. We've got unions that are going to be coming to the table, and when we want to talk about the rumors of we're going to meet with our departments that we're going to get 10% cuts. We're going to cut here. We're going to cut there. And we want to go and single out individual employees and give them 21% raises. And we want to take the credit for that and say that was our doing. I can hear the screams coming up Central Avenue now. Trost is toast as everyone comes with their pitchforks. I can hear it now. And for your rudeness and arrogance before, I know how to follow proper procedure. Proper procedure will be for you to get up and hand this to the city clerk. Here's my Oprah request.
Thank you.
So hopefully within my 7 business days, I'll have my documents. Thank you.
I'm sure you will.
Next, please.
Chris Coley, Prospect Ave, Hackensack. At one of the council meetings, I asked what the Upper Main Street Alliance was going to donate to the park. If I had known that he was going to put the arm on the builder for $25,000 when he only had to build half the parking required for the building, and he's going to overuse a parking garage, and where those people and the other half of the park that are not getting parking spaces, where are they going to park? For $25,000, that was a deal. Also, I don't know what's going on with the soccer field yet. All I keep hearing is how high our taxes are going. I hope that indoor soccer field was only a wonderful dream. We cannot keep taxing this town and the future generations of residents to pay for things that we do not need at this time. It's wonderful for the children. Everybody's for the children, but not at this time. Also, I asked about my parking permit that I had to return back for the $5 that I paid. And now that ticket that I got that can't be resolved in Hackensack, I now have to go to Fairlawn for a ticket I shouldn't have gotten, for a permit that says I could do it, and now I have to go to another town. Is there any chance that the city will reimburse me for my time and energy, and if I need to get an attorney?
Mr. Trost?
I'm not even sure if I know what parking ticket you're referring to.
I had a P parking permit to park in the Atlantic Street parking garage at the hospital. I told I was not allowed to have it. I went to the city, they gave it to me, I paid my $5. They kept giving me tickets before the 8 o'clock time when I had to go down to put the meter money in. The last ticket, they gave me 3. The last one I got, they took the ticket back as long as I gave them the sticker back. And they said, someday I'll get my $5 back. Well, there was a ticket prior to that I said, the sticker was enforced, so therefore, at 7:45, I shouldn't have gotten a ticket. So I pleaded not guilty. I went to municipal court. Because I worked for the city, they told me they can't hear the ticket. So now I have to go to some court in Fair Law. And normally, when you go to another court and they fight a ticket, you have to bring an attorney with you. Or I have to have all the city ordinances that says I was legally right to park there 15 minutes before I wasn't. And even at 8 o'clock, I can still put quarters in there.
When is your court day?
At the end of this month. I'll let you know. I just got the follow-up from Fair Law.
I would talk to traffic and to see if he was given that ticket erroneously or not.
Yeah, I will.
What has to be done.
Captain Lloyd is sitting right there, so I'm sure he and I will be having a conversation tomorrow.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Paul and Calcaterra, First Ward. I just have a question regarding what's happening over on State Street with the Cultural Center. Anything new that you could advise me on?
We just got, we talked about it, I have it inside. We were just presented with some numbers to move forward finally, do it in a 1 or 2 phase project. That's something we're going to have to discuss and how we're going to do it, because there's going to be some bonding involved, along with some.
Yeah, I see it looks like the lot there, they're doing quite a bit of work on.
Well, that's the park, that's separate from inside. That's a
Okay.
totally separate project. The inside project, we have the numbers now, and we know, it's a matter of us making a decision on which way we want to go, do it in 1 phase or 2 phase. It looks like we're trying to mix it in with some other bonds for some other things.
Have any idea when maybe it might open up, or?
I would say, you were talking sometime in June, maybe, looking at bonding?
I know at one point you talked about May, but May is just around.
As far as opening up the Cultural Arts Center?
Yeah.
May would be impossible at this time. What we're looking at is figuring out our capital program, which this was part of the discussion at the earlier meeting. We then will be presenting the entire package to the council and decide on the amount that we go out to bond. So the architect has been working on how to do it. So we're ahead of the game as far as what the costs are and how to attack the problem. We've also had meetings with the code officials. Believe it or not, city government has to follow the building codes as well. And there were some issues that had to get resolved, and we actually have to spend more money than we anticipated to handle the access for fire codes on the 2nd floor. So that being said, we are moving forward.
Okay.
And eventually it'll be up, well, I would say come back next meeting.
Okay, I know, I just want to say thanks for your help, and Mayor and Council,
a big step.
as well as Mr. Trost. And it's been
Well,
quiet.
we know how important this is to you.
Yeah, you know, it's been quiet, and I know Mr. Trost has been handling
Still
it.
something
and-
we have to move carefully on. Money is tight.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking for grant money, we're looking any other way, public funding, anything else we can do to help this, so.
And I do appreciate, it being managed, the next door. And I want to say thank you, Mr. Trost, for your help.
We are going to be looking at marketing, a marketing campaign to solicit donors. We may look at, depending on putting it out to bid, see if somebody wants to put their name on it. We'll be looking at picking your favorite seat and buying that seat, and you can have
That's a
your
good
name
idea.
on it. So we're looking at options on how to fund it immediately and then bring back money back in based on those types of tools.
Okay, well, thank you. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is, does Hackensack have any kind of volunteer program for anything? You know, we're in a squeeze, and I always think that, well, you know, the lawyers like to do pro bono, right, as they say. And I think people, it's an obligation, or I shouldn't say an obligation, it's something that they want to contribute to society instead of being crybabies all the time. So, is there anything Hackensack has for volunteers, especially the recycling?
All our boards are volunteers, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, you know, like you have the library board, the planning board, zoning board, though sometimes they are compensated in special cases. And Shade Tree Commission, there's a lot of different boards where people serve on a volunteer basis. All your coaching in town is volunteer.
How about a recycling program that has some kind of
That's something we could
I have
look
talked
at.
a
I mean,
little
we
bit
have our
about that.
recycling through the city, but
Yeah, but you know, people get involved, and I mean, I see a lot of trash around, and you know, as this gentleman
what
had
I'd
said
like to see
before,
is a clean community.
it's you know, and there's money that could go back into the city from that recycling.
The more the city recycles, the more funding we get back from the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
unfortunately, there's a lot of litter in the city. I can say that I've noticed it as well, and I can't disagree with the comments. I'm not sure how to fix that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a shame.
I'll be calling you to see if we can.
Unless we have people walking around with, you know, see somebody throw something on the ground.
Well, I don't think that works. I think it's
I don't
just
think it
one-
works either.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much,
sir. Appreciate it.
Peter Marcazzani, again, 65 Davis Avenue. Just following up on some of the things from the COW meeting. I wanted to mention, and of course it came up with all the difficulties in the budget, especially with the capital expenditures and the bonding. How many street sweepers do we have? Do we know?
We have two.
We have only two.
We have a third that is non-working.
Okay, and I just, that's really tight. Two sweepers is tight. And refurbishing, total tear down and refurbishing, as opposed to buying new, any companies do that?
The third one would not be cost effective.
Spare parts at only at the.
We're cannibalizing it.
So the other two are not an issue. It's really the need to get a third.
The sweeper is probably one of the most complex pieces of machinery. There's a lot of moving parts, and sweepers tend to break.
Now I understand why I leave so much behind when it goes by my house. I understand.
Sweepers break no matter if you have a brand new, a used one. They are a very complicated piece of equipment that, unfortunately, with the amount of use that it gets in the city, it gets complicated.
Yeah, the thing, talking about recycling, talking about sweeping your sidewalks, sweeping the streets in front of your house, a la Europe, you know, maybe some of these things, if they were part of the literature that goes out from the city from time to time. I know you don't send much out other than the recycling calendar. And even that's questionable because yard waste should have started the 1st of April. And I don't know whether we just missed a day or two or whether we have a systemic issue already, only because we may not have the wherewithal to make those pickups. But mine was supposed to be picked up today, I guess, and it wasn't. And if it gets picked up tomorrow, no big deal. But
we're playing catch up in certain.
And I just don't know whether that's a function of poor planning or whether it's a function of equipment breakdowns. I mean, these are the questions that could the residents' minds.
I think it's mostly equipment breakdown right now.
I have no issues, but I mean, these are the kind of things you deal with when you get people that come up and scream about, you know, why are you building a park on Atlantic Street, which is a big deal, as opposed to filling 2 potholes. There's just no correlation between the two. So, anyway, I just wanted to make that point. And obviously, I want to add my kudos, too, to the budget. I think it was very well done under extreme circumstances. Happy to see the library actually commending the city for making an extreme effort to give them the money they need, even though they're operating under extreme circumstances themselves. So I took that as a positive. I mean, you know, somebody misread it, but it was obviously a lot different than last year when there was a lot more pressure. So thanks again for everything.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. My name is James Irwin, 40 Jefferson Street.
Just wanted to give you an update. The smoking ordinances in Garfield is past first reading. It'll be up for second reading in next week. Lodi Mayor and Council they have it in hand and they're looking at it. Little Ferry also in East Rutherford. I'm bringing this to your attention because I brought this to the council. I believe it was in December. I could be wrong, could be January. And I know the council's having some issues and they're working through that. I'm not here to beat you up because I think you do as good a job as you can as a volunteer with stipend, whatever you get. But I will say I think you're moving a little slow on that, dragging your feet. Also, still waiting for the recognition and whatever reform the city's going to do for Miss Sissy Braithwaite. I think you're dragging your feet on that.
So far, we've already given her a proclamation.
A proclamation, right.
We did the proclamation. We
Right.
just recently attended a dinner which was given to her by, I can't remember the organization.
County Community Action.
CAP,
Right,
CAP program.
We were there for that.
Right. But I asked the council to
We're
entertain, I'm
looking
sorry.
I know we're talking about maybe doing a sign over on the street sign.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Over where she lived. We haven't come up with a decision on exactly what we're going to do yet, but we will be honoring her, no doubt.
Okay. All right.
Right.
I also want to say this, I go to a lot of meetings in a lot of different towns, and towns have a lot of issues, some good, some bad, but a lot of things been going on in this city. I think I lived here maybe a little over 10 years. Had a lot of lawsuits, a lot of firings, a lot of this, a lot of that. But if it's any representation of what's going on here right now, today, it's only a microcosm of what's going on in the city. And it's okay for people to have differences. It's okay for people to have recourse if they feel they've been wronged. But if we can't come together and talk our issues out respectfully, without, because there's a ton of negativity in this room. It's like ridiculous. It's sad, actually. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody or thrust this on anyone, but as a city, we're the city, the capital of Bergen County. I think what the gentleman said, we need some volunteerism. We need some unity, which I don't see anything. He says any way he can volunteer for anything. Regardless of the boards, you want to volunteer for something, not baseball. Where's the unity? Where's the, okay, today is the day where the whole town is gonna go to the park and to here and to your street and pick up litter. We don't have any of that. There's no love in this room. You got, I'm the cigarette guy. This is that guy. This is the disgruntled person. This is Lenny the yeller. We all have something to offer the city, right? We all have something to offer the city, but everybody has their issue or they want to come and talk about what's going on with them, but it's like, I'm with you, I'm against you, I don't like you. So whatever you say, I don't want to hear it. But you're my man. So whatever you do, be it right or wrong, I got your back. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And I think that until the people change, then you can't ask the people that serve you to change. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Seeing none, motion to close.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Mr. Battaglia?
Yeah, you want to say thank you for coming.
Mrs. Canestrino?
Okay, I'd like to, thanks again to Jim and and our city manager, and I was a member of the budget committee as well. I know it was a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat and tears that went into this budget, but I think we did a good job for the city, we did a good job for our residents, and I thank you for all your hard work. Kathy Salvo, as much as I appreciate you trying to support us, what I heard from the library also was that it's tough, that, it's tough and it's hard. But they were still appreciative that we're trying to give you a little bit more money, we're trying to be fair with the insurance, we're going to do whatever we can. And we know it's hard, you're feeling our pain as well, and I appreciate you coming and saying those words. I'll remind you, I know we talked about this last time, trying to get a Friends of the Library organization going. If you need some help from the city, if we can help you, it's a wonderful way to get some volunteers in. Paul was just talking about volunteering. We love our library, Paul. Maybe we could do some volunteering. I think that there are a lot of people in the community that would be happy to do some volunteering or participate in some fundraising. So, if you need our help or guidance or want us to help you with that, I think that's a way maybe that would get us over some of the issues, and help you bring some money or some volunteering in. But again, I think that you did bring a positive message, Kathy. You understand?
Yeah, I was just yelling at her for what they did when they organized.
Okay, all right. So, all right, enough said. Mr. Servo, about the tax abatements, we haven't really made any tax, is he still here? He left? Oh.
He left?
Well, for the rest of the audience, we haven't really made any of the new agreements finalized yet with the two developments that are happening right now. But I want to assure everyone that this is not something that's done in a vacuum, and it's not something that's done with a cursory review. This is a very serious process. And basically, in a nutshell, we look at three things. We look at if that property stayed the same as it was today and it wasn't developed, what monies are being brought into the city by doing that? And if that was developed to the extent that its greatest potential, what monies could be brought into the city? And then what is reasonable, all right? What will enable us to develop that property? And what will the increase in taxes still be to the city? So folks that are doing this development, they have to secure financing, they have to make major commitments. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars being invested in our city. And this is what's going on across the country, and most certainly across the state. Just look to Jersey City, look to Hoboken, and look to what's happening there. So we're very, very serious about coming into an agreement that's fair to the city and its residents, and that also enables us to encourage the development that we've been waiting for a very long time, and that I believe is our future. This is definitely the future of the city. Who else? Bart, about Fashini Park and garbage, I hate to hear that. It's been a rough winter. The snow piled up. We had delays in getting our salt. We're still in the streets. Whatever could happen has happened. The street sweepers are down. We're really working to get our act back together. We talked about this in the COW meeting, getting some funding together to get another street sweeper. I think we ask all the public to please participate. Get out, clean up your front yard, do the best you can, and let's come together. I think it was Mr. Irwin who in the end said, I appreciate what you said, Mr. Irwin. There is a lot of negativity in this room. You're absolutely right. And we should all be here for the same thing. We should be here because we care about our city and we want to make our city better. And yeah, there's going to be times when things happen that upset us and make us angry, and we're here and we want to hear that. But we also want to hear about solutions. How can we help you? Come here and tell us, come with a solution, not just your problem. How can we work together to make the city better? And that's what we're all about. And I encourage everyone to participate in that venue because I think it's very, very important. What else did I make notes on? Mr. Gelber, you know the Oprah process very well. I think that it's a formalized mechanism for the city to understand and control what's coming into the city and what's leaving the city. We ask you to fill out the Oprah request. I think our clerks have been more than responsive to your requests, and that's the right way to do it. And I don't like to see this anger. I wish that we could try to work better together. I really would appreciate that.
You should talk to your subordinate about anger.
Let's not bicker back and forth, Stephen. Let's try and come in here and help and work with each other for the betterment of the city. I think you want that. I know I want that. So let's try and do it.
You want to have a meeting. You and Johnny know where to find me, right? Dunkin' Donuts. Asper Heights. You want to go?
Stephen, this is not the time for this kind of conversation.
Not for that, right?
Shut up. If you want it,
only when you want it, Jack.
Mr. Gelber.
Mr. Gelber?
It's our turn to talk.
If
Mr.
you-
Officer, officer, officer,
Me-
out.
Any resident that wants to talk to me has my phone number, can call me, can come see me after this meeting, and I'll be happy to discuss it. You called my house, you wanted to speak to me.
Oh,
I
that's
did.
not the way that went down.
That's
Come
exactly
on.
the way that went down, Mr.
Mr.
Gelber.
Gelber,
Oh, you
out.
were a
The way
defender
that
on that one?
went down.
Bust out a couple 100,000
That's
extra.
exactly the way that went down, Mr. Gelber. Exactly. I apologize
Never ends.
for the rest of you having to hear that type of outburst. But Mr. Irwin's absolutely right. People come here with absolutely naked
It is our turn to talk, Mrs. Gelber. If you want to talk to her, you could talk to her after the
Their
meeting.
sole purpose here.
Officer,
All right,
would you please remove this woman?
From the building. Yeah. we
Yes.
do. Yes, we do. It's not
It's
your
our
turn
turn
to
to
speak.
talk, Mrs.
It's not your
Gelber.
turn to speak,
We
Mrs.
sit up here, we
Gelber.
listen to everybody in this room. It's democracy. Now it's our turn.
It is
She did not say
it is
anything
not your
derogatory.
turn. It is not your turn to speak, Mrs. Gelber. It is my turn. Either be quiet or leave the room.
Are you gonna be
be
quiet, Mrs.
quiet.
Gelber? And let her finish? Are you gonna let her finish? Without comments? I'm talking to you,
Yes,
Mrs.
we're talking
Gelber.
to you. It is
Thank
a
you.
sad state of affairs to have people come here only to be able to be disgruntled and to be angry. And I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm sorry to have everyone else be witness to that. Because we are here to listen to your complaints, to work with you to try and remedy those situations. There is no perfect solution. There is no perfect world. There is no perfect Hackensack. But we are working and we are doing the best job we can to listen to your complaints, to try and address them in a meaningful way, and to try and treat you with respect. And we only ask the same of each and every one of you. I thank you for coming, and I hope to see you all here again.
Thank you. Mr. Sims?
I want to thank everybody for coming out on this rainy day. This Saturday is opening day for baseball down at Fashini Park at 11 o'clock. All you Met fans, you guys are in first place. And the Yankees in last place.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you for that, Dave. It might be the only time I get to smile about the Mets this year. I want to remind everybody, our next meeting is scheduled for the 20th, 21st. It's going to be just on the 20th because the 21st is the Board of Ed election with the candidates are here tonight. Some of the candidates, I should say.
What's your conscience, John?
Thank you, I will. The budget, again, I want to thank CFO and City Manager for the budget, I think, and Mrs. Canestrino and the Budget Committee for doing a good job. Tonight, there was a resolution passed to join the CRC, the Community Resource Council. Mr. Trost and I met with them last week. This organization does a tremendous job. There's about 30 towns involved in this that belong to them, and Hackensack wasn't one of them. And they're located in Hackensack, and most of the people they take care of are from Hackensack. And we were kind of unaware of that. And we're more than happy to contribute the $1,000 to join this organization. It's paying dividends already. We actually owe them more. I too want to thank the library for coming and expressing their feelings. It is a tough time, as Kathy says. You know, we feel your pain, and our pain is the same. Again, I reflect on what Kathy said. You saw public funding take place here tonight in the form of $40,000 between two gentlemen. You know, there's people out there, and you know we need to reach out. And like Kathy said, we'd be more than helpful and more than happy to help with that. Mr. Serbo's gone. Pilot programs that Mr. Serbo was talking about, I got to ask you, and Kathy hit on it slightly. And I'll use Mr. Capadagli, who donated $25,000 to the park. That property where that building's going up on State Street it was blighted property, paid $75,000 a year in taxes. He got probably one of the best pilot deals you could get when I was on the last council. Because he was the pioneer, he was the first one, they felt he deserved a good break. Even with that building will now pay close to $275,000 a year in taxes. So you're looking at a $200,000 plus. So what mind boggles me is how people can be negative about giving a tax break when it's actually making money for the city. I just have a hard time understanding that. You really have to look at the whole picture and how the pilot works. But we're bringing in $275 a year more than we were, and that number is going to increase through the years until the pilot is paid off. So it's a plus for the city. I recently met with Mayor Steve Fulop from Jersey City. They're doing tremendous amount of redevelopment down there, tremendous amount of pilot work. He says, give out all the pilots you can, and we're not that willing to give out, big pilots. But look what's happening down there. Look at the revenue they're going to be bringing in. Again want to thank Mr. Capadaglia and Mr. Sanzari for bringing in that money to the community center. Mr. Coley, he didn't have to give the $25,000. Are you here still, Mr. Coley? That deal was cut with the parking as part of the deal. Yes, we're the hospital's in there. We're taking some of the hospital cars out of there. We gave him some cars in that space, and that's not uncommon in redevelopment. But he didn't have to give this $25,000. He just didn't have to. He just did it. So I appreciate that. We had a discussion tonight in the cow session about going back to the twice-a-week garbage pickup. We're looking to do that again just for the summer months. It's not a volume issue. It's a health issue as far as I'm concerned. Garbage sitting in a garbage can for a week to me is unhealthy. It stinks. It's not conducive to, the whole neighborhood stinks sometimes on a hot week. So we discussed that, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do that again from May through, I guess we stopped in September sometime. Mr. Williams, are you still here? No, he's gone. All right. We passed a resolution tonight, or an ordinance, introduced an ordinance about changing the cost of some of our fields. Our rentals for some of our fields were ridiculously low, and we're bringing them up to where they should be, along with what other towns seem to be getting in the area. I want to wish everybody a safe trip home, and we'll see you again on the 20th. Thank you. Motion to close, please.
We have to go back into closed session.
We got to go back in? Motion to go into closed session. Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia. Aye. Deputy Mayor Canestrino. Aye. Councilmember Sims.
Say aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Hackensack deem it necessary to discuss certain actions under section 7B7 and 7B8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, which pertains to matters falling within attorney-client privilege, ongoing litigation and personnel matters concerning the employment of current and prospective public employees. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Hackensack is of the opinion that such circumstances may presently exist.
I'm listening, Deb.
Whereas the mayor and